So I imagine you're here because you're struggling to find your community manager role, and we're going to have a very honest conversation on why that's happening. Because right now you're sitting there wondering, am I not experienced enough? Am I even too experienced? I've heard that one quite a few times. You're assuming that person who actually got picked for the roles that you've been applying for has some sort of magical resume, something that they know that you have no clue. You have no idea what was different about them that got them the role. So assuming you aren't applying to roles which are completely outside of your league, which I'm sure you're not, the problem is there is just tons of competition right now. There's 500 people applying to the same role, and you are not being seen amongst those people. Now is the time where those skills really matter. You are completely capable, you're just completely blending in with everyone else. So to fix this, I want to determine first where you are in the process. Where are you stagnating? So it's probably in one of these three. One, are you not finding many interviews or no interviews at all? You're struggling to even capture interviews. Two, you're getting some interviews, but you're not really making it past the first round or two. It's not really progressing to the last kind of rounds of interviews. Or three, you are very much getting interviews and you're progressing to the last round, but you're just not getting picked right at the end. Someone else seems to have like an upper hand against you and you're just not quite getting over that edge. So first determine where you are, and now we're going to go through how to overcome those different stages. So the first stage was you are not getting many interviews or any interviews at all. Now, if you are stuck at this stage, which by the way, most CMs are stuck at this, you are stuck at positioning. You need to get better at positioning yourself. You may have all the right skills. You may have all the right experiences, whether that's from direct community management or elsewhere, and you're pulling that together to make, the best skill set possible. But you're just not coming across like a community manager in a strategic way. You're not coming across as someone that they actually need and want to hire. Your identity, your LinkedIn profile, your resume, your cover letter, on paper, it's just not, you're not being seen. You are blending in with everyone else. So if you're stuck at this phase and you aren't getting the interviews that you know that you deserve, you really need to work on how you strategize your positioning, how you come across on paper, how you come across as strategic, how you come across as valuable as a community manager. And you need to focus on being seen amongst the competition. At this stage, I've heard a lot of different people thinking different things. Oh, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too this. The competition is high, and if you get great at positioning yourself, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, you can only focus on getting better at positioning yourself, and that is going to make all the difference. It's going to make tons and tons of difference. Take it from Jennifer, who is in my program. She came to me not getting many interviews at all. She doubled the amount of interviews, and she worked then on her interview strategy, and she just told me today that she got a role. So congratulations to Jennifer. And it's something that you can 100% work through. So the next was you are getting a few interviews, but you aren't really getting past like the first stages. So your issue is really conversion. We need to work through your conversion skills. So this really comes down to your skills on like selling yourself in a live situation, saying the right things, saying the things that you know will convert. And this usually correlates as well with confidence. So it's both a skill in itself to, be confident in yourself, but also know what to say, when to say it, in what situation. So selling yourself. When you get on the call, you're not coming across as the obvious choice. Maybe you're even saying things that are hurting your chances. Maybe you're just not saying the right things. Maybe you are coming across as just completely unconfident in yourself. And how can they be confident in you? But don't panic. This is completely normal and it's highly learnable. And again, because of this climate, there's so much competition, it's something that you should be really working on to get where you want. Selling yourself feels incredibly uncomfortable as a community manager, especially. But if you learn to do this, if you get great at this, you will be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. You'll be able to get that role, be able to convert those opportunities. And even in the future with promotions, anything, it's just one of those skills that is going to affect your whole life really positively. So the final one is you are getting to the last rounds. Like you are getting all the way to the last rounds of those interviews and you're just not quite getting the role. You're not, someone else is just seems to be one-upping you every time. So this is incredibly frustrating because clearly your skill set is somewhat great. Like you are clearly able to communicate yourself to some extent. You are clearly confident in yourself to some extent. But what are we missing that's really not pushing ourselves over the edge? Now, really what you are missing is conversion still, but it's that insane high polished version of that. Basically being able to speak to strategically, show your value very clearly and show why you're the one for them. And that's like the very high polished version of that. Getting so good at that you know what to say every time, you know how to say it, you know what will basically attach to the audience that you're speaking to the hiring manager, to the CEO, to whoever you're talking to, and really convince them that you are the right person without coming across as completely salesy or egoistic or any of those things. To get past that, you really need to be able to speak just how they basically what they want to hear. You want to tell them what they want to hear, exactly what they're looking for. You need to say it all in the right way. You need to not say anything that will put any doubts in their mind, because there may be some other candidate who is nearly or as perfect as you, and that's why you are just so close to getting it there. It just needs that extra skill set to be polished at this point. And again, this is just so important at this time because there is so much competition. Maybe we would have gotten away with it more than a couple of decades ago, but right now it's so important. So those were the three things, or the things that really are like you're missing. Now you may be at the beginning of that process and you're working your way through. Wherever you're at, you're missing those things. You need to really develop your skills set in those things. Now I have other videos on this if you want to explore those. We used to get away with this, but unfortunately now we cannot. We have to sharpen our skill sets to just push our career forward, especially as a community manager, as there is so much misinformation and misunderstanding around our role. So if you really want to delve deeply into how to do that, I have a free quiz linked in the description where you can get the step-by-step and more detail on really where you are at in your situation right now. It's a little to-do list. And I hope that really helps you through your struggles right now with getting that community manager role, because a lot of people are in your position. So be the one who really don't underestimate those skill sets. Take it on, learn them, just for yourself for now and for your career going ahead.